Hey guys, SaveAsUntitled here. On this episode of The Ranking Show, we're going to be talking about, unfortunately, probably one of the last IRL Melee tournaments, big Melee tournaments we'll see in a while, CEO Dreamland, and to a lesser extent, that also happened this weekend, Don't Stomp on Me, as well as some of the net play events that have been popping up over the last couple of months, and the other news that's coming around of pretty much every notable event that's going to happen in the next month being canceled, which is to be expected and is definitely for the best to contain the outbreak. You don't need to hear from me again. You're trying to spend your time with Melee, getting your mind off it. And if you want some extra help and you're on the East Coast and you want to get your mind off it even more, consider signing up for, I'm running a net play tournament. It's going to be Tuesday nights for the foreseeable future. Hopefully everything goes well. But if you go over to the Discord server, if you go to the Discord server, which would be !Discord for anyone in Twitch chat, or in the link in the description, you can just go over the /GG/save, sign up for the tournament for free. We're doing it for free this first time just to give a little bit of testing and figure everything out. But if you're on the East Coast, you like playing net play, come consider joining the tournament. And that's my singular plug for that. And hopefully it's not reached a cap. I boosted the cap up to somewhere around 80, I think, now, because it kept on going up, and I appreciate all the support. But without further ado, let's get started and talk about CEO Dreamland as I accidentally clicked to open 2 Excel windows. So that's not going to be fun, nor do I need that. Okay, cool, yeah. But CEO Dreamland, as I alluded to before, is probably going to be one of the last big events we see for a while. And with that, it really wasn't even that big, as you saw that it really wasn't that big. Half the players that were notable, if you watched the storyline video, they dropped out of the event, which was, again, very understandable. And just PSA, if you have every other news source telling you this already, but don't go out to Melee events and endanger everyone. Just stay at home. Netplay sucks, but it's better than a lot of people dying. I think we can all pretty much agree that even though netplay is not the desirable way to play Melee, it's better than people actually dying. And if you don't stay home, you're increasing the risk of that happening. But there was still a lot of talented players here. The most notable set probably came from HBox playing against None, being able to take the game 5. I don't know if we'll have a stock count detailed on this here. I believe he went up 2-1 in this set, and then in the run back, well, no, there's no run back because Cobalt beat None in that game 5 set there. Excuse me. Yeah, but HBox winning this event was really no surprise, beating everyone. How close some of his games are, excuse me. Dropping a set to Crudo's Sheik, dropping 2 games to None. After the last time they played was at Summon, he only dropped 1 game, and dropping a game to Cobalt. But still, I was saying this in the pre-show, and there's a guy who added me saying why don't I ever talk about Crudo? I feel like I've mentioned Crudo a handful of times, but again, I don't really get out of bed until I see someone take a set off HBox, and even if they do, I'm waiting to the run back to see if it's true. Like a lot of these stories, we've seen Albert beat HBox, and not to minimize his win over not the greatest Melee player of all time, the best Melee player for the last 3 years. Not to minimize that win, but he lost the run back pretty handily. When Hacks beat him, he lost the run back. It was a close set, but he lost the run back. So again, I'm not super concerned about any of these drop games in here, especially with all the extenuating circumstances around this event. And I'm pretty sure the notices have been a little weird around it. Maybe I'm just not super as informed about what's going on with the MPGR and the Smash World Tour. This definitely doesn't count for the Smash World Tour, but I think this tournament is also not going to count for the MPGR. That doesn't mean we can't get interesting things or look for trends based on this event, but definitely something to keep in mind that maybe these players weren't playing with the intense fervor that they would normally. Cobalt's probably the biggest winner of this event, and I guess the biggest loser if this event doesn't count, but it's pretty much telling us everything we already knew as he went through 4 Falcon sets, winning them all this weekend. He double eliminated Gatsu, right? Yeah, I just looked at that. I'm dumb. The None win is pretty huge, especially with how hot Non's been playing this week. It looks like Wizrobe dropped out, so we had most of the talented Falcons that are going to be here. It was Wizrobe, and I forget who else I'm blanking on besides Gatsu and None of talented Falcons that was going to be here. S2J, that's what it was. Oh yeah, I should probably mention that too. I'm feeling a little bit off today, so if I seem a little spacey or weird, you can kind of attribute that to that. I just have a bit of a headache, and I don't think I'm coronavirus sick or anything, and anyway, you can't catch it through video communication. But if I'm seeming a little bit off today, understandable. Yeah, but pretty much everything that you expected happened here. Leighton unfortunately losing to 2 Falcons despite his practice with Smuckers at locals. Gets swept by Chef Rock, I believe. I forget if it's Chef Rosh or Chef Rock. Beating Prof pretty cool though. Yeah, but again, this tournament very quickly went from one of the potentially most exciting kicking off. It's so weird how much has changed in the week. Like, this was going to be the tournament kicking off the entire month of an incredible string of events with a lot of talented players, and now it was a kind of false start. Well, very much a false start, because we're not going to be seeing events for quite a while, but that had not really interesting sets of like the players that dropped out. Not to like dunk on any of these players. I think Cobal's run throughout the Falcons was probably one of the coolest storylines we had going into the event before everyone dropped. But like the string of players that we got to still be here left this event kind of feeling lackluster. And I guess again the doom and gloom around everything kind of brought it back. Yeah, so CEO Dreamland doesn't really count for anything. Important to note that Nunn's able to give HFox more of a threat. Maybe he is speaking to a little bit of his difficulties in the Falcon matchup in the past, or Nunn's incredible rise. Not that he wasn't good before, but he had that bit. He attended nothing for the large half of the first year. Large half of the first half of last year. That is definitely not the way to say that. And then the other event, which again was going to be stacked, and then it ended up really just being Albert and Bobby Big Balls. Not that other talented players like SFOP, SDJ, Uncle Mojo, Curve got all the way here, but it was supposed to have West Balls, a few more players. Again, I was going to do coverage on this event, but I said not to. And that was also kind of a choice because I didn't want to encourage people to have to go out to events for this, even though I guess encouraging people to watch is mainly what my videos do. But I was just like, I didn't feel super comfortable highlighting the event a little bit more, and that's nothing against like the TOs and advertisers, stuff like that, and we really didn't know the extent how bad it would get in days, but I just didn't want to put more of a spotlight on it. I'll talk about it now that it's over, now that most events are and should be canceled. Albert finally picking up a couple wins of the year. I've been ragging on Albert a little bit because he didn't have quite a good Genesis performance, and now he's the leader of the Smash World Tour for pretty much a long time, for what we'll see for probably a long time. And he finally has these wins over Bobby. Not the biggest wins that we would have attributed to him, as for Bobby is ranked. Where is Bobby ranked off the top of my head? And I saw your guy. I will not be competing in my own tournament. I'm already going to be balancing so many plates. Yeah, Bobby's... Oh, why do my USA flags look really weird? Oh, yeah, Bobby's only ranked 80th. So, I mean, that's a good win. I would love to see Albert get more, because we know, even though I did just dunk on him moments ago, but I would love to see Albert get some more wins in here. Yeah. Maybe the Smash World Tour just, like, the contracts are set in stone. They don't change anything. Albert's the #1 player. He wins. They can't run the tournament because that's too big of a gathering. Albert wins, and he gets $45. Now $45. That's an Evo prize pool. How could I be so stupid? Yeah, but, like... Again, not really knowing the inner workings of Texas Melee. Curve continuing to work his way back up. I believe Curve was... Is this the event? There was a Fox main... Oh, no, I'm thinking of Vu. There was... I don't know the name of it. I think there's a Florida/East Coast Netplay tournament where Vu won his first round and then through DQs got all the way to 3rd place by going 1 and 2, which is absolutely nuts. I don't think it was this tournament, no. Yeah, because Vu's not in here. Yeah, there's still Verdugo West this weekend. Yeah, but Curve's slowly working his way back up. Excited to see. Doesn't look like he took sets off of anyone of note here. At least any names that I recognize here. Taking a game off of Uncle Mojo's cool, but again, still, it's going to be a slow process switching over from Luigi. But yeah, again, another event. Not really too much to say about it. Kind of unfortunate. I was going to say it's unfortunate that like this and CEO Dreamland were the last hurrah before we go into this indefinite hiatus for large Melee events, or for just large events for anything. But I commend all the players who signed up for this event and either didn't fly out or chose to avoid it just to stay healthy. I commend them for that, even though they lost their Smash World Tour points. But the world is a whole lot more important than a Smash World Tour. Yeah, but as I was saying, the Melee community has been through so much shit, and not to compare this to anything the Melee community's been to before, it's really weird trying to find a balance, and sorry I'm talking so much about the coronavirus when every second, every moment of every news coverage and everywhere you go is just this all over, but especially for the Melee community, this is a huge thing, and for me, because this is kind of my livelihood. But you have to strike a balance, and I have to keep on reminding myself that it's okay to be sad that like Melee's canceled and the Smash World Tour, we finally got the Smash World Tour and it's being ripped from us. It's totally valid to be upset about stuff like that. And totally upset if there's other things like you're going to go to a concert or you're excited for St. Patrick's Day or something and that got canceled. It's totally okay, totally valid to be upset about that. And it doesn't make you lesser or minimizing the problem of like the greater global issue that's going on for you feeling bad about these individual things. It is, you should feel bad if you're going out and endangering other people, but for feeling sad that things that you enjoy, maybe it's the NBA, maybe it's Melee, stuff like that, do not beat yourself up about feeling bad that stuff is canceled. And that's more, I think, a reminder for me than anything. I'm kind of saying it out loud so I can hear it back. But yeah. But speaking of ways to persevere and how the Melee community will continue moving on, we already have some big events coming up. Nez is already planning a Mod God Championship Series. Surprising to be a 2-day event. I'm interested with him running a 2-day event with this. The only way to be signed up for it is to be subbed to Nez, but it's free. There's going to be a prize pool, which is really, really cool to see. And I think we're going to see a ton of these popping up in the future. I know there was talks, I don't know if I have a link to it, of the cave going online for locals, which would be pretty cool. Excuse me, and I imagine a lot of TOs will follow suit. One of the most notable ones, there was Quarterly Report, now has this big event thrown together, already got a lot of prize pools coming in just, I believe this is not this Saturday, next Saturday coming up already for another Tri-State event. You can see I got a little bias focusing on these Tri-State events because that's where I live and I'll potentially be able to compete in these, which would be really, really cool. It's awesome to see how fast like Melee's bouncing back. The event, it even has Melty Blood. Even has Melty Blood, and in these trying times, Melty Blood will pass us through. Of other things I had to highlight from this week of news, Ice announced that he was going to GOML, which is really, really cool. Again, we're really gonna hope that GOML's still happening. May might be cutting it close, but excited to see that Ice is willing to fly out. The second best player in Germany is willing to fly out to the events for this. We got exciting news, and if you haven't been watching KGH streams, I think KGH is just coming back to streams recently, which is pretty cool. KGH and Duck were streaming, playing, and Duck was playing Samus. So I think we talked about this a bit last week, of people being encouraged to jump back into the scene because of the Smash World Tour and the money associated with that. I forget where, it was Drug Fox was going to compete at Pound. He was signed up for that. So hopefully we'll see him sign up for another event or whenever, if Pound is rescheduled to, or like Super Smash Con or something else in the area. But Duck coming back to Samus is incredible to see, especially for you Year of the Samus supporters in the chat. And exciting for me, because I won't have to, disdain's not the word, not vote on him for another year in a row if he's on the rankings. Because as much as I especially am a Sheik fan now, especially that I've started maining Sheik, I really don't like Duck Sheik and would much rather see a Samus. Bro, Nikki's the best. Nikki. Yeah, Nikki's the best player. So yeah, I think, like, honestly, there's not much to cover from this week besides, like, the big existential threat going on here. Yeah, I don't know really if there's anything else to talk about besides, again, if you're not already signed up, already going up to 61 attendees in the time we did during the show, Discount Plup. It's not even Discount Plup. It's like you go to the store looking for Plup and there's just nothing on the shelves, and there's, like, this half-ripped open Sheik package. It's a weird discoloration. You're like, okay, I guess I'll pick it up. That's what Duck Sheik is. Pal Plup. Pal Plup, again, is giving him too much credit. Great value Plup, again, too much. Yeah. But really, unfortunate and sad as it is, I don't think there's too much else to talk about for this weekend. It really, because I don't want to be another one of those voices adding to the scream about the issues going on. I can talk a little bit about the East Coast Netplay tournament and like what's been going on with this and my personal experience, because I've been going through the process of planning an event. So it's really interesting to see the other side of what everything is going on here, of seeding events being a whole lot more tenuous, picking rule sets. It's a whole lot more difficult than I thought. The one good thing that I'll say is that I had no idea that Smash GG was free to run your own tournament. I thought you had to pay to get a tournament on the website, which is not the case. So if you're in this kind of waiting period and it's Netplay tournaments where pretty much anyone can run, see you, Samus. Thanks for popping by. But yeah, it's really, and this is going to be more and more important coming through, especially that Smash GG has built-in ways for players to report matches. This is going to be how Melee is played for the time being, for better or for worse. So you might as well get used to this, and if you're interested in getting into TOing or running events, or even just want to run a small tournament with your friends where you're all just sitting at home, only able to talk on Discord, this is probably the way to do it. Yeah. Is Gomble the next tournament? Well, I don't think we should be looking towards what the next tournament is for quite a while. Oh, that is not the thing I should be pulling up. That is work-related things. I was looking for this. Hey, Shabo. Yeah, no, but there's no... I don't think we should be looking forward to the next tournament or referring to anything as the next tournament, because we really don't know what is going to turn out to be the next tournament, unfortunately. So yeah, we just kind of have to sit on our hands and wait at this point. Yeah, and make sure our priorities are in order. But that really might just be it for today. I feel kind of weird running such a short ranking show, but this is kind of going to be the case for the next couple weeks. I'm going to try to mix it up with some more interesting kind of things. We'll finally do that character alternate skin tier list. We'll finally do any other interesting ideas that we can rank. And obviously we'll be covering, and all these Netplay results definitely have to be taken with a grain of salt. And I can't imagine, unless it gets real bad and we don't have any other results, that it will just be Netplay tournaments. Actually, even everything goes horribly wrong, I don't see any future where Netplay tournaments become a part of the ranking formula or become kept for someone's ranking. I think they're more to keep the community and the players fresh and alive in the period while we wait for tournaments to be safe again. I don't think we're going to see Untitled #1 coming up on anyone's resume and stuff like that. Is Full Bloom canceled? Yes. You can go. If you don't, I believe I have the calendar. I will just send it in link because I'm not 100% sure I have the right exclamation point command. You can see all the events that are officially canceled as of now, and anything in the next like 3 weeks I'd say is as good as canceled. Like we're not gonna get very unfortunately named event. We're not gonna get anything. What if you started capsule? I don't know that, nor how to pronounce nor read that word. To sponsor the Monday game with ads, Captain Falcon's Fleet, Pepsi Man. I think Nintendo would start sending cease and desist letters, even in midst of everything going on. Yeah, Nintendo will finally... Yeah, Nintendo was just like, saw the Smash World Tour was announced, and they're like, it's getting too good for Melee players. Having money in a prize pool, people caring about competing in your event, Nintendo was like, hit the Corona switch. Hit it now. This is all Nintendo's fault. No. Yeah, but I think for the time being, everything is pretty much canceled. We're going to be turning to Netplay tournaments. It's interesting. It's an exciting new way to see how good we can make Netplay tournaments and how we can weed everything out, because there's really been no pressure to do so, because obviously when you can run a local or a Netplay tournament, the local is easily the better option because of a lot more things less things to manage. People don't have to have quality setups at home. They don't have to have... TOs can more easily manage what's going on. So it's never really been the optimal choice to do Netplay. But now when it's our only choice to run Netplay tournaments, I think we're going to see in the next couple of months what makes a good Netplay tournament. That's going to come out, and for stuff in the future. It's interesting to see if, once it all blows over, if any of these Netplay tournaments will survive. There's just a lot of questions going on here. No, there's not an entry fee for this one. There might be one in the future for the Untitled series, but this one is just, like I was saying, kind of speaking on to the point I was talking about before, there's a lot of trying to figure out what makes a good net play tournament, how to best run it. So this one's more to just figure out what goes well, what goes wrong, and then we move from there. Net play tournaments could have larger prize pools and higher profit margins for TOs. I definitely agree with the profit margin aspect, and it'd be interesting to see if we could get sponsors in on it. And potentially, I think it might even be easier to get sponsors. No, I don't know about that. Well, I guess TOs, hypothetically, easier to get sponsors. You could swing it as they have to spend less time worrying about venue issues and stuff like that when it's already automated, and people are a lot easier able to aid in running the event from online, and people are running it itself. Yeah. The hardest part is, I think, dealing with lag and how that factors in. I wouldn't agree the hardest part of the video. I think it's really lag in people's connections, because that, in coming up, like, kind of speaking on my own experience so far, I'm just, like, very new, very recently got skin in the game, is that setting rules for lag, like, what... If there's two players who have a bad connection, who wins that? Who gets DQ'd? What's the ruling on that? How do we move from there? Seems... very difficult to do, especially when it's a tournament where people are paying money to get into it. That's why I'm still trying to tweak everything out with a free event. But when someone's when money or some sort of prestige is on the line, if it comes down to someone having a bad connection or someone potentially using malicious methods like a lag switch or something like that to advance their game, that is one of the big things that you don't have to deal with on LAN. There are still ways for people to swing out of game stuff, macro stuff like that. Yeah, there's a lot of different questions. I don't want to say one running event in person or out of person is easier or harder. I think it's just, and I don't think it's apples to oranges, even though it's both Melee tournaments. I think that's a really hard comparison to make. But there's a lot of different questions that need to be asked for a net play tournament than an in-person tournament. And now I can't imagine most people know this, but when I was back at LaSalle, I started a gaming club, and I've TO'd like 5 or 6 in-person tournaments for Melee and Ultimate, and surprisingly not that difficult. I have a lot of fun. It's a whole lot of work. Like, you're so physically and mentally exhausted by the end of the tournament, but it's a lot of micromanaging. I imagine running the tournament online is going to be a lot of micromanaging and stuff like that. Yeah, easier to regulate is a good way to talk about it. And there's a lot less cross-regional play, which sucks about it too. Because the coolest thing about Melee is that, like, everyone can enter and people come from all around the world to compete. But when we have, say, we can't really have... I think Leffen was memeing about playing friendlies with Zane, and it's like 11 buffer friendlies for those two to connect. And those two obviously have incredible internet connections and computers for streaming. Yeah. Netplay tournaments becoming the standard in non-quarantine times would ruin the scene. I think it would make it different. I think for a lot of like traditionalists to the scene, I think you could definitely swing it as it would be ruined. And honestly, if given this ability to play a net play tournament or play an in-person tournament every single day of the week, but I don't think it would ruin the scene per se. It would just another enormous change. I don't think we would ever see like majors or something like that going on. Am I going to stream the tournament? Yeah, this tournament's going to be streamed. I'm going to be highlighting. If you check out the rules in the Discord server that is linked in the match, in the thing, because I also created a Discord server exclusively for the tournament, because my actual Discord server was getting a little crowded. And I didn't want to get that cluttered with that. There are, I'm going to be streaming like particular matches that I point out from my perspective and doing commentary. Going to be pretty pog. Dawson, should you or Panos be the #1 seed? Stream Killer Blue? Yeah, that's also something I should mention while I have this bigger audience of people watching. For any of the competitors, I've also set up, that's on the main page of the tournament, this competitor information form, so I have a better idea of some of these players I know lesser of. I can imagine this is going to play in too much for seeding, but this is helping me for the players who do get on for the matches and players I do decide to get on the stream. I have more information about them, so I can more accurately talk about them and not misrepresent a player I may not know more about. So that's just there. We already have like a considerable amount. I think there's like 10, 15 players who already filled one out. It's a very short form, completely optional, but yeah. Yeah, Proto Mario, you can stream your games. Don't worry about it. Well, if you're going to be streaming your own games, then I probably won't stream your games because connection. And also, you're already streaming them, so what's the point? A lot of people in Melee for the money would be ruined. I don't know about that. And also, what do you mean by people getting into Melee for the money? Like, people start competing just to make money? Because Melee has, I don't think, there's a lot less crossover between fighting games. It's not like somewhere like Tekken, Street Fighter, those like 2D fighters where players like Sonic Fox can dominate in multiple games, because there's a lot of crossover there. Melee's a totally different beast. I don't see anyone coming into Melee for the money. I don't even see any corporations coming into Melee for the money, because, spoiler alert, there's no money in Melee because we can't sell anything with the game. There's absolutely nothing we can sell. Yeah, I think in money for Melee. Yeah, I think that's a bit of a misnomer. Hell yeah. And Chabo, I'm going to assume that extra one. I've honestly had so much fun just sitting here on this page, refreshing, waiting for people to show up. Like, Tetris players would be more likely to succeed than most traditional. I don't know about Melee's such a different beast than anything else, which I think makes what is one of the things that makes it such an incredible game. And again, if someone is starting to play a esports game for money, it should be Fortnite. It is not Super Smash Bros. Melee for the Nintendo GameCube. It is not Super Smash Bros. Ultimate for the Nintendo Switch. It is not Melty Blood. It is certainly not Melty Blood. If someone starts playing Melee for money, they're a moron. If anyone comes into Melee, myself included, trying to make money or make a living out of it, I'm a moron. Yeah, League of Legends, Dota. And if they want to make video games a career or a hobby that they make money from, Melee's not it. No, it is not it. Yeah, but I think, unless you guys have anything else like around this idea or related to either the moving forward, because this is a bit of a weird ranking show, because we're not going to have much to talk about for this one, and I didn't want to start this off the jump of doing a kind of meme or more fun ranking show where we talk about things that aren't events. I'm going to still be keeping this up every Monday night and VOD every Tuesday. Just kind of the focus of the focus of what we're going to talk about is definitely going to change to keeping up with netplay tournaments, stuff like that. Any sort of other big discussions or news that may be coming out of the Melee community. Yeah, but the ranking show will be here every Monday. It may be like this, a lot shorter, or this one's going to be decent. This will probably be like a half hour, 49 minutes. It's definitely going to get a little bit shorter than it traditionally is, which is, again, really, really sucks to see. But that's kind of the state that Melee is right now. And we can't worry about the things we can't change. We just got to keep on pushing forward and loving and playing Super Smash Bros. Melee for the Nintendo GameCube. And I think on that note is probably where I will end off the official show for tonight. I'll do a couple of, we've been doing all throughout the week, and I think I'll be continuing this even if the NetPlay series. The plan is to every Monday night do the ranking show, every Tuesday night, with the ranking show just reviews Untitled every week. Well, wow, Board of Twitch, I think you figured out my plan. But Board of Twitch does make a good mention that I'm going to Untitled. The plan for that is going to be happening every Tuesday night, so we'll at least have that to go off of and that to talk about every single week. Yeah, so there'll still be Melee. There'll still be stuff going on. Just hype up my NetPlay series every week. Yeah, that'd be cool because maybe I can aim it. That's actually really smart, guys. Oh, you guys are so smart. This is why I have you helping out. I was going to say, if I have the seating and registration finalized by the ranking show every Monday. Oh, Yeah, that's it. Because I have the seating and players registered finalized by every Monday night for Untitled, and then we can talk about the storylines to look out for. Hopefully that doesn't get like too insular, where I'm like, oh man, the seating's so whack. Why do Dawson and Cam have to play in round 1? That's such a weird matchup. Why is Dark Gen X playing Panos, and why are they starting on loser's side? Why is there a Swiss bracket for just 2 players? This is so weird. I can do whatever the hell I want. I can run minor experiments like Emily was talking to me about, of running Frozen Stadium, or like banning FD as a counter pick. Oh, okay. No, the outlook for the future of Melee has just gotten monumentally better, and it's all because of your humble god, SaveAsUntitled. Ooh, Pokefloats tournament. Pokefloats tournament. But yeah, we got an exciting future ahead. And also, I'm not going to stream too long after this today too, because I still got a lot to prep for tomorrow. I got to make one of these fancy streams. But yeah, as for just tonight's show of the ranking show, we're going to do a little bit of more, probably like 1 or 2 games of commentary practice before I head this one off. But I appreciate you guys coming through. It's still been a fun show. We will persevere. We'll have a good day. I've been SaveAsUntitled. Also, in your YouTube comments, if you got any ideas for what you would want to see us talk about on the ranking show in the future, interested in joining Untitled or competing in the future, or anything else you just want to talk about, I've been SaveAsUntitled. This is the end of the ranking show. What episode are we on? Is this season 2, episode 11, I believe? But I've been SaveAsUntitled. Hope you VOD viewers enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.